What's going on, everybody? It's your boys over No Days Off DFS here to bring you that NBA slate breakdown for the 8-game NBA slate we got today. Hopefully, you guys made some money yesterday. If you guys tuned into the channel, I uploaded a Prize Pick slip video and also, of course, the DK NBA slate breakdown. So hopefully, you guys were able to make some money. If you guys new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content I'm putting out, and drop a like on the video if I'm helping you guys win some money or if you guys are just genuinely enjoying the content. As you can see up on the screen, last night we smacked a 6 for 6 on the AD taco. I posted this to Twitter, which is free, totally free. Follow the page, trying to get more active over there on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. It is called No Days Off Chat if you're looking for it up there. But been posting lately, posting a lot of like the esports and things like that. Just trying to be a little bit more active up here to you guys. Other ways for you guys to reach out to me, talk to me, comment on things. But yeah, like I said last night, posted this literally probably like 5-10 minutes before the actual game, if I'm not mistaken. Full slip, put it up there, said why not. I went to bed, woke up full green, had a couple people that actually followed it, so we made some money over there on that. So definitely check that out if you guys are looking for more free content. You don't got to subscribe to the Patreon, which link to that is down in the description below if you're looking for my player pool, props, and everything else that I upload. You're not only going to get my stuff, but everyone that's over here for the No Days Off family, MMA, PGA, golf, all those other sports, we got it over here and we upload on the daily. So definitely check that out. Going over to it, last night's slate wasn't bad, could have been better. Definitely, of course, falling for the AD. I'm not gonna say it was chalk, not gonna say it was bad chalk, but definitely didn't have to play AD necessarily in order to have a good night. The Joker, he had a triple double, really great. We covered that in yesterday's video. The value was really just the key. If you fell for Austin Reeves is just bad. He's not a good player. But definitely Torian Prince came through. Vando came through. D'Lo looks great. I still don't know why they want to trade him because he is actually good. It's pretty much what you're going to get in DeJounte Murray. So whatever for the Lakers. But definitely yesterday it was so. The Portland Trailblazers keeping that game close with OKC. That definitely But nonetheless, we got another slate. It's every day. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try to go ahead and cash out, take the stuff down. Looking at it, starting over here with the injury report, Charlotte taking on Detroit. The biggest news that we got is the fact that Terry Rozier is no longer on this team. He has been traded to the Miami Heat, which both of these teams play today. Now, I haven't seen anything saying if Terry is going to play or not, which is going to be pretty big because we're going to want to know if Terry's going to be playing for Miami tonight. But my presumption is that since the trade just recently happened, I doubt that he's going to play for Miami, but definitely we'll keep an eye on that. I know for a fact Kyle Lowry is not going to be playing over here for the Charlotte Hornets at all whatsoever. They are looking to flip him, so don't have to worry about Kyle Lowry coming in, butting in. But this will go back to the LaMelo Ball show. He's going to have the ball in his hand. And to be quite honest, Brandon Miller has kind of emerged as a really great player over the last several games. Like, he's balling out, and this is a really good matchup for them going up against the Detroit Pistons. Definitely want to know if K is going to actually be back today. That's going to mess around with some of the other usage and players that we have over here. I know some of the players, their prices, they spiked up, of course, with K being out. I want to know if K is going to be a minute limit, things like that. So something for us to pay attention to over here in this Detroit and Charlotte Hornets game. Nick Richardson, he's missed the last couple of games due to his back or ankle, one of those two. Definitely want to know if he's going to be in or out. Same thing with Cody Martin. Need to know about that. The Minnesota Timber Pups, I'm going to call them Pups because they blew a huge lead. Karl-Anthony Towns dropped 62, and they just ridiculous. But they get a redemption game going up against the Washington Wizards. It's like the NBA gods are blessing them with a game that they can make up for in regards to the piss poor performance that they had going up against the Charlotte Hornets recently. So Timberwolves, no news right now to report for them. I want to say they're on the front end of a back-to-back, if I'm not mistaken. Washington Wizards, nothing to report over here for them. They're all pretty healthy for the most part. The Memphis Grizzlies, for them, they pretty much, again, are battling a whole bunch of injuries. Very tight rotation. Same old for them. Their pricing still has not adjusted, which is just ridiculously stupid. It's like they are begging us to play them on DFS sites. Miami, same old. Like I said, Terry Rozier, doubt he's going to play. Jaime Jaquez, he's going to be out again. So this will be Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo show. Portland Trailblazers, back in of back-to-back. I would want to pay attention to Portland in case they rest Michael Brogdon or something like that. Not saying that it's out of the realm of possibility. We do know that they definitely can do something like that. So I would want to pay attention to that right there. As we're paying attention to injury news and stuff like that. And then for the Houston Rockets, all the players that they rested the last game, they should be playing tonight. Shouldn't be any issues with them, except for, of course, old man Jeff Green, Tari Easton, Victor Oladipo, they are still out. For Cleveland Cavaliers, same old, same old. They're still missing a bunch of players. The biggest news that we have to get from Cleveland is if Karis LeVert is going to be in or out. He's missed the last couple of games with that wrist. And with him being out, my boy Sam Morrell, if you guys did not play him the other night after I hyped him up, and I even hyped him up on the Patreon, you missed out on a golden opportunity. The kid balled, got the garbage time, just killed it. You need him in your lineup in order to cash out. And he was low owned, like 10% and below owned. People were sleeping on my boy Sam Morrell. For the Bucks, I'm going to pause on this one. Please tell me, when in the history of the NBA have you ever seen a head coach where your team is, I want to say, second best record in the NBA, pretty sure they have the second best or tied for the second best, something like that, and you fired the head coach? Doesn't make any sense. They fired their coach, what was it, David Griffin or something like that. It was something Griffin. But Milwaukee fired their coach yesterday, hired Doc Rivers, who really hasn't won anything since Boston, came close with the Clippers, barely did it with the 76ers. They fired his ass because he just couldn't get it together over there. But you hired Doc Rivers to bring him in to a team that has a bunch of superstars. And I really just feel like you brought Doc Rivers in just because he's going to cater to the stars and let them do kind of what they want to do. Doc really doesn't hold people accountable. From everything that I've read coming out for the Bucks, he got fired because he held the star players accountable. They lost in the in-season tournament to the Pacers. He called them out about it in an aired out meeting with the players. I'm airing it out. I'm telling y'all what y'all need to do. There's some sacrifice that needs to happen. And he's not wrong. They go on and win their next 7 games. There has to be more to the story besides what I've been able to read online. But just doesn't make any sense that you feel like he lost the locker room because he called out the players. Last time I checked, that's what a head coach is supposed to do. I would rather have a coach like that coaching my team. Doesn't make any sense. But I do like the better rumor that he looked at Thanasis and was like, what are you here for? I like that one. That's why Giannis got him fired, because of that. Outside of that, Bucks, no news to report except for the fact they are under a new head coach. So going to be interesting to see how Doc wants to run with Giannis out there. I know he's had high praise for Giannis in the past, and Damian Lillard, both of them. So definitely gonna be really interesting to see exactly what Doc wants to do in this type of environment with this team. So something to pay attention to. Probably not gonna mess with any Bucks right now, just because they are under a new coach, and I want to see how Doc is gonna roll this out and play with that right there. Phoenix Suns taking on Dallas. This right here is gonna be the Devin Booker versus Luka Doncic show, like it always is whenever these two teams go against each other. And to be quite frank and honest, Luka has made Phoenix and Devin Booker his bitch continuously, especially after their playoff run when Devin Booker wanted to beat his chest and talk all that shit. Luka came back and he showed him what was up. But over here, paying attention, nothing really to worry about over here. Eric Gordon, don't care if he's in or out, playing off the bench, not really anything to worry about over there. For Dallas, Luka and Kyrie, they've been game time decisions for the last couple of games, but I do fully expect for them to play right now. Currently, I don't see anything that says they will, that they'll sit. So biggest thing to worry about. And then Dante Exum, if he's in or out, that's just another rotation piece. I doubt they're going to slide him back into the starting lineup, but it would be interesting if they did. OKC taking on the Spurs. Nothing note for OKC. Unfortunately, they had to play a full game last night. Expect them to do a little bit better, especially with that 14-point spread going up against Portland. Didn't get it done. So game went down to the wire with J-Dub hitting the game winner for the Spurs. Trey Jones game time decision. Need to know if he's going to be in or out, because maybe we might see Shochan back as point forward again. Not too sure how that's going to go. But Wemby versus Chet matchup, they always hype it up, but it's nothing to be hyped about. And then Atlanta, with all their players that they have out, DeJounte Murray still on the trade block. Same old. We know we're going to attack some pieces from here. Should be a fast-paced game going up against the Golden State Warriors, who, again, they lost one of their assistant coaches. Maybe they come out with a chip on the shoulder, dedicate this game to him. I would imagine that a lot of these players, especially for the fact that they had to blast 2 games off, they have been rested for quite some time. So either we're going to see some rust, or we're going to see some players come out here with a chip on the shoulder and able to really play and get through it. Very interested. I would imagine that it was a very deep thing that happened at that dinner for them to have to miss the last 2 games. So, not talking any ill will, but it's going to be a mixed pot in regards to what we're going to get, because we got to remember, we are human. This is a human emotion and stuff like that. So there was a reason why they had the last 2 games postponed for the slate. All right, jumping over. I know that was quite a bit of an intro. Do apologize to you guys. If you guys, I will say, someone yesterday, they called me out in the comment section about something that I do very often in these videos, and I'm going to try to adjust that today going through this. If you guys see anything that you guys would like me to change, things that I can actually do better, talk to me down in the comment section about that. I am always looking to improve these videos because I want to be able to give you guys the information in a quite good way. I want you guys to actually get something out of these videos. Whether or not, if it's 10 people watching, 25, 30, 100, I don't care. I want to give this stuff to you guys in a really great way. I do enjoy doing this stuff, especially because this helps me with my research process as I go ahead and I look at props, as I look at my DFS lines and stuff like that. It just makes me a better player. So hopefully I'm doing the same thing for you guys. Starting out, first game on slate, we got Charlotte Hornets taking on the Detroit Pistons. Let me pull up the Vegas line. Surprisingly to me, this game does not have one of the highest totals on the slate. It's sitting at a 234 total, but of course, 3.5 point spread. Not bad at all. The highest total that we have on today's slate is going to actually be the Thunder taking on the Spurs, which is sitting at a 242. Second highest is going to be that Suns and Mavericks game, sitting at 240. Definitely going to want to get some action out of that game. And then the next one after that is going to be the Cavs taking on the Bucks at 236. So really interesting. The only double-digit spreads that we have is going to be Portland taking on Houston. Houston should be able to easy day wipe this up right here. And then the Timber Pups taking on the Washington Wizards. So that's it. But going over to this game, starting out, like I said, for the Charlotte Hornets, with no Terry Rozier out here, LaMelo Ball, Mikal Bridges, Brandon Miller, all three of these guys are going to be players that I'm going to want to look possibly to build my lines around. All of them should see immense uses. LaMelo Ball is going to have the ball in his hand. On top of LaMelo, like I said, the emergence of Brandon Miller, what he's done over the last several games, 29 minutes, 35 minutes, 35 minutes. All of these, I want to say between the 12th and 19th, there was a game missing in there where he was injured. But 42, 38, 37 fantasy points. Now you're going to get a matchup going up against the Detroit Pistons, who not too bad. Well, not too bad. Not too great against the small forward position. And with the ball handling responsibilities, the scoring output that he's been putting up, I love this spot for Brandon Miller, especially at the 6,100 price tag. Now, with no Cade Cunningham, if he's in or out, even if he's in or out, the usage that LaMelo should have, because he should have this ball back in his hand again. This could be one of those spots where we could see a 50-plus fantasy point type game from him. He's been stepping it up heavy on that defensive side. The playmaking duties will be back there for him. As long as he can actually get his shot to fall and he's scoring, doesn't go 1 of 6 from 3. Pretty good play right there as well. And then last but not least, Miles Bridges stepped up in a major way in that last game, going up against the Minnesota Timber Pups. 40 minutes, dropped 40.25 fantasy points in that game. Back-to-back 40-plus games. I don't hate this spot for Miles Bridges at all whatsoever. Detroit, they've been bringing Isaiah Stewart off the bench. Even if Isaiah's in the starting lineup, still not a bad spot for Miles whatsoever. We've seen opposing power forwards. They've had pretty good games. We know he can slide down and play that center position as well, do a small ball lineup. Whether or not if they have him or PJ Washington out there at the spot, it's going to be a good spot for Miles Bridges to go ahead and have a pretty good game. This game, I am looking to possibly make it my game stack of tonight in regards to doing a price pick slip. So definitely check the link down in the description below for the Twitter. I will be posting that up there for that for sure. But for sure, that's where I'm going to post the game stack that I do plan on doing today. But right now, I'm kind of hovering over the Charlotte Hornets and Detroit game. Now, going over to the other side, the biggest thing that we have to know is if Cade is going to be in or out. Right now, he's listed as probable. He's expected to make his return after a 7-game absence due to the left knee strain. If he's back, I would imagine he's going to be on a minutes limit. I wouldn't expect for Cade to come out here and go back to his allotted 38 plus minutes. Maybe see him around that 24, 25 minute range. Probably, and we've seen this before. Whenever Cade comes back, he picks up a lot of ticky-tacky fouls because for whatever reason, he has a pretty high foul rate whenever he's on the court. Either way, 7-8 for Cade. I'm not too interested in that today. If Cade is out, if they're not going to play Cade, or maybe they bring Cade off the bench, I will have a lot more interest in Jaden Ivey once again, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Alex Burke. All those guys I'll have some interest in. If Cade is in starting again, I'll have a little less interest in Jaden Ivey, little less interest in maybe Burks, things like that. I will still have quite a bit of interest in Jalen Duren. We have seen opposing centers have had pretty good games, and in the first game that he played going up against Charlotte Hornets earlier this season, he dropped 40-plus fantasy points, pulled down a lot of rebounds. Right now, they have his rebound prop sitting at 11.5. I think that's really, honestly, too low in regards to a Charlotte Hornets team that we know can give it up to actual good rebounding centers, and that is what Jalen Duren is. With Nick Richardson or without Nick Richardson being out there, still a weak rebounding team, giving up roughly around 10.2 rebounds a game currently on average, and sitting at 6'8", that's a lot of putbacks that we can get for Jalen Duren. Maybe a couple of block shots that we know he can go out there and get, and definitely maybe one of those 19 rebound type games from him. So do love the upside for Jalen Duren with or without Cade Cunningham being in there. And then Jaden Ivey, he would be more of like just a GPP option if Cade was in, but do like him better if Cade is out. Now, the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Washington Wizards. Everyone in this whole starting lineup, they all have a really great matchup. All of them, 1 through 5. We know that Washington, we can attack them with almost any position. The biggest thing is going to just be figuring out which player is going to actually pay it off. Now, Anthony Edwards, he came out, he said it. They lost track of what they were supposed to be doing out there simply because Cat got it going. They wanted to see Cat go out and score 100. They were hyping him up. They were literally just looking for Cat to go out there and score. And you can see it. If you watch the highlights, you went back and watched the tape, that's what they're doing. I would expect after getting called up by your coach in the media, they're going to come locked in. So with that being said, you definitely can favor any of these guys. I will say Rudy Gobert. I know he's had pretty last 2 games, 29 and 31 fantasy point type games. I can see him going out here dropping a 40+ game. Let me see. I don't believe they've actually played Washington so far this season. But nonetheless, Rudy Gobert, we have attacked Washington with opposing centers. Pretty good spot for him. Karl Anthony Towns, definitely, if you want to go there, it's only a $300 difference. I could definitely see myself getting up there to him, especially coming off that big game. Maybe he want to lock in. He did get benched in that last game because he was playing lackluster, piss poor defense. I'm not going to expect Cat to come out here and drop another 62-point game, 76.5 fantasy points, but the matchup still does favor him going up against Kyle Kuzma. Weak defense right there. You're playing pretty much 2 7-footers. Definitely is a spot that should be pretty easy for them. And then I will say Anthony Edwards, he did let me down big time in that last matchup. 31.75 fantasy points in back-to-back games. Not the Ant that I know he can go out there and be, and honestly can come out here and light it up. Do not hate going to Ant as a possible option instead if you want to mess with that. But it'll be one of these trios right here that I would definitely want to get as a piece if I'm going to take something over here from Minnesota. On the Washington side, with the narrative that I am building and that I'm thinking of for Minnesota, they're going to come locked in. They're going to try to lock them down. They're going to actually play like the #1 seed that they are over here in the West. I'm not too keen in picking on anyone over here from the Washington Wizards. If I had to pick anyone, it would be Denny Avdia. Just the upside that the kid has. I would imagine that Jaden McDaniels, one of the best defenders, is going to be probably guarding Jordan Poole or a Kyle Kuzma, something like that. One of those 2 players. And Denny Avdia, maybe he'll have the opportunity to get more of the rebounds, do more of the playmaking duties, and actually go out here and score. We do know he can get up there, get you a 30+ fantasy point type game. Not a must by any means necessary. No one over here is honestly anything that I'm keying in that I have to play from Washington, but that would be the option that I would technically go to. Memphis taking on Miami. This, again, another interesting spot. The biggest thing to me over here is that still the prices over here for Memphis, they're not adjusted right. We still have Conchar, who is in the starting lineup, who is starting. He was playing 20+ minutes a game and constantly getting better every single game that he's playing. 28 minutes in that last game, 3 for 6. Sorry about that. 5 assists, not 5 assists, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 steals, 6 points, 27.75 fantasy points. I don't expect another 5-block type game from him, but the upside is definitely there for him. If you're going to give me a starting player, period, at 4K, that's going to at least play 25+ minutes out there, and I know he can at least get me 20+ fantasy points, I'm definitely going to have to key in on that continuously. I don't understand why the price is not going up on him, but if you're going to continue to give me that, I'm going to look that way. Santi Aldama, he is going to be out for this game. He did play last game going up against the Toronto Raptors. He's out for Wednesday for this game. So I definitely would imagine that maybe we see minutes tick up for GG Jackson, which we had him before, 4-1. Played 21 minutes in that game going up against Toronto, 19.75 fantasy points. If the kid actually gets the run, he was decent. 29 minutes against Golden State, dropped 41.5, but we know he had a vendetta against Steph Curry in that game. But definitely some interest or something that you can keep your eye on right there in regards to it. But David Roddy, I would think, would get the most upside in regards to it. Would be interesting to see how they run out the lineups because last game, Jay started Jaren Jackson Jr. at the center position. I definitely think they can actually pull it off again going up against Bam because he's not the biggest center in the world. And JJJ, if he can keep himself out of foul trouble, he definitely can go out here and have a pretty decent game. Went out here, he has 6 steals in that last game. I do not expect that again. The block upside should be there going up against Bam because Bam is not a stretch big or anything by any means. He tries to get to the rim, things like that. So the block upside, but that also leads for him to getting some fouls. I definitely do like Jaren Jackson Jr. All the usage and everything that he has, he's pretty much the lone survivor, the lone starter that they have out here. They're without Bane, Marcus Smart, John Morant, all these players, they're out, they're gone. But it's pretty much just the Jaren Jackson Jr. So definitely see yourself getting there to that. But if I had to go with anything, it is going to be these value guys that we have down here. David Roddy, GG Jackson, John Conchar, Zaire Williams. And if I had to, just still because he's in the starting lineup and I still feel like he's underutilized, he could do a lot more, Luke Kennard, I do like him for the upside that he actually brings. Tyler Hero, not scared of that defense. No Terry Rozier starting out there yet. Jimmy Butler, he's not going to be out there guarding Luke Kennard or anything like that. Probably going to be on a Vince Williams Jr., something of that sort. So definitely Luke Kennard, 5'5", pretty much playing that starting point guard role, and we know he can light it up. Good spot for him as well. Now over here to Miami, looking at them, honestly, without Terry Rozier, no Kyle Lowry, ball handling duties and responsibilities should be in Tyler Hero's hand. One of the things that, which I don't understand why the prop size, I'm not too sure if this is legit bait with this, but over here on PrizePicks right now, unless this is bumped, nope, they still have his assist sitting at 3.5. I'm not sure if that's bait. I understand over his, 4 out of his last 5, he has not gone over this, but he's going to have the ball in his hands. Who's going to play the point? Tyler Hero. We know that he can actually get there. He's averaging roughly 4 assists a game is what it's saying. He's averaging 4 assists. We know that he has a pretty high assist upside, especially whenever he has the rock. So definitely a prop that I would consider, that I would look at. But outside of that, the upside, definitely Tyler Hero. I do like him in this position spot, especially with no Kyle Lowry. We know he's going to have the ball in his hand. Even with Jimmy Butler out there, Jimmy, he can't get up for this matchup. He can't get up for this game. Not a bad spot, 8-1. Don't hate it, but not a must necessarily in my eyes. Would much rather prefer a Tyler Hero. And then with the fact that they're banged up down at the big position, they're going to be putting out maybe small bodies or Jaren Jackson who can get himself into foul trouble. See some trips for Bam at the line. I do like the upside for Bam as well as another opposing play over here on the Miami Heat. Outside of that, not too interested in too much going on over here, especially if these players are going to be out. I'll just key in on the main studs, the main stars over here. And I definitely do think we can just get the value over here on the Miami side. That's not bad. Cleveland taking on the Milwaukee Bucks under their new coach. For Cleveland, of course, it's the Donovan Mitchell show still. He's out here. He's balling. He's doing what he has to do. If you want to pay up for Donovan Mitchell, not a must in my eyes, 9.7. To be very honest, my pay up stud that I'm really looking at for today is going to be Luka. Like I said, if you know, you know. Luka going up against Devin Booker, it's a dream come true. It's a matchup, and he shows out just like he shows out whenever he plays the Clippers. So that is my main pay up guard that I'm looking at paying for. But I can see if you want to come down, maybe get a lower owned Donovan Mitchell. Not a bad spot at all whatsoever. We do know we have attacked Milwaukee with opposing point guards. They have decimated him, especially with shooters. That's what Donovan Mitchell goes out here and do. He's going to be playing that point guard role, the point guard duties, the assists. They're there for him, especially with the way that the Cavs are clicking on all cylinders. They're scoring very well. So not a bad spot at all. Jared Allen, don't mind going to him as well. We know that he is technically the second fiddle to sorry, Donovan Mitchell out there. The upside for him, it is definitely there as well. Double pretty much in every single game over his last 5. I do like the position for him. Not a must by any means necessary. I do have another center that I want to key in on, but if you want to get a piece from this game, you can go with either one of these two guys. And then there is some value in coming down. Unfortunately, my boy Sam Morrell, he has been bumped up. They have finally paid my boy respect after back-to-back 30+ fantasy point games. I'm not gonna lie. If you're stuck in that 5K, that 5.5 range, you're looking for a guard, look at that smile. How can you deny this man? So Sam Morrell, definitely can see myself going there if you're in that range. If you're looking for something for the upside that he can actually bring, 3-point sniper, gonna go out there, and if the game does blow out in any way necessary, I would expect it to be a closer game, especially if Caris LeVert is out. I will say that again. If Caris LeVert is out, I will be looking at Sam Morrell as more than likely a play to play in that position, just because 1, he's going to go lower on, especially with the price bump and everything, and 2, he's going to have the usage off the bench, which we have seen in the past 2 games without Caris LeVert. So the upside will be there. Outside of that, Georges Niang, I would be wrong if I didn't talk about his upside over the last 2 games, 28 and 21 minutes, dropped 27 and 21 fantasy points, playing pretty well, stroking it pretty good from 3, but also doing a little bit on the rebound side. Biggest thing also to note is the fact that Tristan Thompson, he is suspended for 25 games for whatever drugs that he messed up on. So without him being there, I highly doubt they're going to play Damian Jones. He is trash. Never have I ever seen Pete Nance actually play. I see they have recalled him from the G League. So I don't see them going there at all. Mobley, they have tried Isaiah Mobley. Doesn't look all too great. So I would imagine that we are going to have to see maybe some small ball Niang being out here. Be interesting to see how well that is going to be going up against a Giannis and a Brook Lopez backcourt. Now, we do know they do play Bobby Portis at the center position sometimes, so the upside could be there for my boy Niang, but maybe we could see some more minutes for Niang just due to the simple fact of they don't have Tristan Thompson, who was soaking up a chunk of those minutes at the center position. As you look at it, he was playing pretty much, I'll give him 15 to 20 minutes a game. That's 15 to 20 minutes for your backup that you're going to have to allocate to someone else. So Niang, could see him still hovering in that 20 to 25 minutes, especially coming off the bench. If his shot is falling, I do like the upside, and I'm gonna say it, I don't mind Niang at all in this spot for him. So definitely do like Niang, especially for the upside that he does bring, and for the fact that they will be missing some of their, well, not even some, but one of the bigs. Over here for Milwaukee, for the fact that, again, like I said, they're under new coaching, Giannis would probably be the safe, not even probably, is the safest player over here on this team, just simply because I don't exactly know how Doc is going to run rotations. We can try to look at what he's done with Philly, look at what he did when he was on the Clippers. I know his point guards, he has very high regards for his point guards and what they do, the playmaking, the setup, all those things like that. Maybe I'll go back and watch him tape, try to look exactly at the system that Doc likes to run, things like that. But I would imagine he's going to just keep the ball in his star player's hand, try to keep his stars happy. I imagine it's going to be a lot to Giannis, just getting Giannis involved, things like that. And the usage for Giannis should go up, just like it did for Joel Embiid over there when he was coaching for Philly. So Giannis, upside should be there for him. 11K. I can see him probably be lower owned on the slate, but definitely a player that I would consider if I'm going with anything over here. Outside of that, gonna wait and see how his rotation shake out. Wait and see who he's gonna actually lean onto on his bench. Things like that. I'm not gonna touch too much over here on Milwaukee outside of Giannis. Portland taking on the Houston Rockets. I'm not playing them on a back-to-back. Very honest. I'm gonna fade them. Outside of Brogdon, if Brogdon is still in, player you can go to. Outside of that, don't like Ayton. Ayton is trash. Jabari Walker, don't like him. Scoot Henderson, he's going to play in the blowout, whether or not, if his game's close or not. Excuse me. Rookie that should get the minutes. You can go there if you want to. Anthony Simons, if you think that his shot can actually fall in back-to-back games, especially coming off of back-to-back, shot 4 of 9 from 3. Guys, I told you that yesterday as a player you can go to. But not gonna force anything over here. I really don't like anything over here from Portland outside of Brogdon if he is actually in, because like I've said before, if he's in, the games actually do stay close because he's that veteran presence that the team actually needs to win games. Over here on the Houston Rockets side, though, everyone is in contention and play. Primarily, I'm going to be going with Afrin Şengün and Freddie V. Both of these guys, I do like Şengün. The upside for him will be here. DeAndre Ayton, barbecue chicken. Şengün, with the triple-double upside that this man possesses, if he wants to, he should go out here and have a pretty good game. I see a double-double at least for him with his rebounds and with his points. Should be a pretty easy spot for him. Sitting at 8-3, really great upside. Mid-tier pricing there at the center position. Love him on today's slate. And then Freddie V, if you want to go to the other side, we know over his last several games, he's been pretty decent. This could definitely be another 50-point type game. Opposing point guards, we have taken him with Brogdon, without Brogdon out there. Should be easy spot, playing at home, 10-point spread. And if it's going to be a blowout, you got to imagine that some player had to go off between Şengün, Freddie V, and Jalen Green is game time decision. So depending on if Jalen's going to be in or out, definitely would be something I want to pay attention to. That definitely is going to boost Freddie V, Şengün, and whoever they decide to slide into the starting lineup. I will say that Dillon Brooks will be a sneaky contention for possible to have a boost if there is no Jalen Green. Could see a couple more shots fall his way. Outside of that, you guys know I like Cam Whitmore. Definitely a better player off the bench, things like that, but not a must or anything over here. Definitely Şengün, Freddie V, my main two guys I want to take if I'm taking anything. Phoenix taking on Dallas. This should be a good game. This is a game that's actually stackable. I probably will also try to do a game stack for this game. So right now between Charlotte and Detroit and Phoenix and Dallas, depending on where the props fall for these two games, we'll be looking at either one of these. I can see myself taking Luka's 3 points made because I know he's going to jack up those threes. I can see myself taking Luka fantasy points, depending on if they drop it. Give me about a 51 to, I'll take it as high as maybe 55 for fantasy points for Luka. For sure, you can take Luka's points right now, sitting at that 33.5, because he's crushed that going up against them numerous times. I want to say he's hooked only once so far in the last 5 games going up against him. So just the upside is there for Luka, period. But Luka, love him here. Kyrie, if he's in or out, don't mind going to him as a pivot at all. If you want to come down, get off of Luka. Looked much better in that Boston game after he took the spill in the Lakers game. We do know that even with Luka out there, he does possess that ability to get a 50+ fantasy point game going up against anybody as well. Outside of that, it's just going to be the main two stars over here for Dallas for me. Over here on the Phoenix side, Kevin Durant, he's back in his bag. He's looking very good. Game winner in the last game, 71 fantasy points. I'm not going to expect another 60 or 71 point game, but his ceiling for me right now is higher than Bradley Beal, higher than Devin Booker currently, just because he looks like he's in the groove versus everyone else. Especially we see this on teams that have the stars. Ride the hot hand with the player that's in the groove. Right now it's KD. I love him. 9-3. Can see him going off again here in this spot. Look at Dallas and tell me who's going to guard Kevin Durant. What is it? Derrick Jones Jr.? No. What's his name? Williams. Tim Hardaway Jr. No. Grant Williams. No. Maxi Kleber. No. No. None of them can hold a candle to KD, what he can do and his abilities out there. So KD, love the upside for him. And then outside of that, of course, my boy Grayson Allen, go right back to him. 20 plus fantasy points in at least almost every single game. I'm not gonna say he's gonna pop off and be just this firecracker, but if you're looking for something from this game and you want to at least get a piece, can see myself definitely going to Grayson Allen if need be, but Kevin Durant would be the main one I want to take over here from Phoenix. And you can mess with Devin Booker, but that's a GPP option, not a must at all. OKC taking on the Spurs. When it comes down to my team, you guys know I'm biased, but opposing point guards, they've literally crushed going up against the Spurs. 10-1. I've already said I'm mainly looking to pay up for Luka, but if you want to get different, you could definitely come down here to SGA. Wemby, he's been in his bag, been on the roll, playing. He looks like he's minute capped at 28 minutes now. So he's going to get those minutes. In that first matchup, going up against Thunder, didn't play all that well. Definitely don't mind going back to him here for the upside that he actually possesses and brings. This is another game I could possibly see doing a game stack or at least getting some props from. The upside, it's there for Wemby. Not too sure how he's going to do going up against Chet, but I would imagine that he would have learned something after the last time playing at home. The upside is high. I would at least expect 40 plus fantasy points from him here. I do like his point prop as a prop you could take. He's been taking a lot more threes and has been knocking them down at a pretty decent clip. So player I could definitely see you going to and getting to. Chet, we know that they're trying to paint this rivalry between him and Wemby, so on and so forth. Chet's not buying into the hype. He did look good in the first matchup going up against them. You can play Chet, but the main player I would actually take would be SGA. Second fiddle would be Jalen Williams. My boy, he's been balling over his last several games. The usage is there. I want to say he cashed his taco yesterday for everybody. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. So yeah, he got the 25. So Jalen Williams, J-Dub, you can go there if you want to. I will say the player I think will go under the radar is going to be Keldon Johnson. The way that he can knock down threes, and maybe if they actually want to slide him into the starting lineup, which I don't know why, but Doc does not want to. If Trey Jones misses, we know we're probably going to get a point Show-Chan, but Keldon, if maybe they just slide, they want to give him that start, I would take a chance on that if we actually get that. Outside of that, not too interested in too much over here for my Thunder. It's not a juicy spot that I feel like you have to get anything from. Atlanta taking on Golden State. Of course, with no Trae Young, we're still going to be riding the hot hand. Well, not even the hot hand, but the decent hand of DeJounte Murray. All the usage, everything that he has, 61 fantasy points going up against the Kings. Going to play as many minutes as he can. They're dangling him on the trade market. They're trying to get him traded. So any good game that DeJounte can actually have is going to be needed and it's going to be necessary. I do like the upside for him here. You can definitely go and pull that out. And then outside of that, my boy Jalen Johnson, he's looked pretty decent. Power forwards, they've done all right. If Draymond Green's still playing off the bench, or even if he starts, I'll take the upside for Jalen Johnson. Definitely DFS darling. You guys know how I feel about that. Bogdan Bogdanovic, I'm gonna get off of him. I'm not gonna play him. I'm gonna fade. I'm gonna fall back. And today's gonna be the day that he goes off. So you guys have been warned. Expect the Bogdan Bogdanovic 40 points and just blow up game that he's going to have on today's slate. So you can definitely go there. Not going to mess with Clint Capella or anyone else over here. Sadiq Bey, safe if you want to get some type of access to this game. Now, going over to the Golden State Warriors. Like I said, something had to happen pretty severely, pretty deep for these players to miss the last 2 games, for it to be postponed. So no ill will or anything towards the Warrior organization or anything of the sort, but I can see the upside in taking someone like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. We know these guys, they can play with a chip on their shoulder. I will take either one of those guys for a late night hammer. Definitely think you can get different. I don't think they will be highly owned, but again, not sure exactly what mental space these players are going to be in coming off of what they recently just went through in regards to losing their coach. So something to just actually pay attention to. Jonathan Kuminga, long as he's still starting, we know he's going to play 20-ish plus minutes, depending on what kind of groove he's in. Long as that's going to actually still happen. 5'9", pretty good price tag. We know we have attacked Atlanta with opposing power forwards, and long as he doesn't turn the ball over, looks pretty good. I could definitely see myself taking Kuminga. The upside is definitely going to be there for him, and pretty good play to get in that late night spot. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. Hopefully you guys got a little something out of the video. let me know down in the comment section, which stud do you think that you should actually pay up for? Is it Luka, SGA, Giannis, Donovan Mitchell, LaMelo Ball? Pretty sure everyone's going to say LaMelo just because of the usage and everything that he's going to actually bring to this game. Hopefully you guys do cash out. Definitely, like I said, check out the Patreon if you're looking for any more of my content. Check out the Twitter. Been posting up there. With that being said, it's your boy Zoe. Good luck. Peace.